Hi guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. Second video. As I said in my first video, today I'm going to talk about my coming out. For all of us in the LGBT community, is different when we came out to our family. And one of the most important moments of our life, probably one of the most difficult moments of our life. Why? Because there are so many fears. The fear of being judged, the fear of being rejected, all the fears are there. But it's a crucial moment for our life. So today I'm going to talk about my coming out and what happened, because it was a bit different. As I said in my first video, I am Italian. I come from a small city in South Italy, in a small village, really nice. But 25 years ago, closed mind. They were not open-minded at all. They didn't know the meaning of LGBTQ. They didn't know how to accept a gay man like me. You can imagine for my family. Since I was a child, I was a different child. I always liked the girls things instead of boys things. If there was a robot, a Barbie, I would choose a Barbie, of course. If it was a group of girls or group of boys, I would go to group of girls, of course. But for me it was okay. But for my family, that was a tragedy. They tried all their best to make me more masculine. Like they tried to subscribe me in a football club. You can imagine me in a football club. I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to go to a theater, to be an actor. You can imagine me a football player. In fact, it was one of the worst moments of my childhood because I was so not good that that's all I can tell you. That was a terrible moment. So my family tried all the best to make me a straight man. But for me, as a human being, I understood that I was gay when I was 12 years old. I was with this girl, a beautiful girl, one of the most beautiful girls in my school, and we kissed. We were in my house, we kissed, and there was the magical moment. The moment where she wanted to have more of Fabio, because look at me, I'm nice, so handsome. No, I'm joking, but she wanted to have more, and it's obvious, it's okay. But my sexual vibe didn't work. There was no sexual vibe from my point of view. So what happened? I looked her in the face and I said, I'm sorry, Federica, but I think it's best that if we were friends. So you can imagine what she did. She said all my school that I didn't want to have sex with her. She said that I was gay. All my school, by the way, called me with faggot, with this awful word, but they call me like that. And I will talk about bullying, how bullying can be really dangerous for our life and especially for the LGBT community. But this isn't going to be another speech, another talk. Let's go back to my coming out. So in that moment I knew that something was wrong with it. At the time, we are talking about 28 years, I don't want to tell you my age, but talking about 28 years ago, there was nothing, because I was coming from this small village. So I tried to understand what's going on with my feeling. And finally I understood that I was gay. When I was 15, I was reading some magazine, I was reading some stuff from the first laptop, computer that my father bought it. So with internet started to help me to understand that. And I cried because I said, I don't want to be gay. Why I'm gay? I am the only gay in the world. That's such a tragedy for me. And I was thinking, how can I say to my family that I'm gay when they want to have a straight son? That was really difficult. So for me, the best way was don't say anything. In fact, I was feeling really lonely. I spent most of the time in my room. I had friends as well, but I was lying. For them as well, I was eccentric, but I was part of my personality, as well for my family, of course. I was the eccentric son. When I was 17 years old, I met this guy during a party, and we looked at each other, we start talking. His name Andrea, and he invited me in his house in Rome. And I said, okay, I'm going to Rome, because from Salerno to Rome was 2 hours with the train. So I said, I'm courageous man, I'm going there because I want to meet this guy, I want to know more about him. So I went there. Immediately I knew he was the right man. my first love, my heart starts beating, all the stuff that you have when you like a person. From that moment, every weekend I was going to Rome, but I lied to all people around me, to my friends, to my family especially, to everybody. And I said, I'm going to this friend's house, Francesca, that she's real, but I said I'm going there for the weekend. So for the first 2 months, everything was fine. But my mother, she's a really clever woman. She's so clever, she can see everything. But she was looking at me a bit suspicious because every Saturday I was looking better than other days. And she said, something doesn't look right. And one day she followed me because we live close to the station. And she followed me and she saw me taking the train from Salerno, and she knew it that I was going to Rome. And she called my sister and said, Paola, because my sister at the time she was living there, Paola, go to the station and see Fabio who is going to meet. And Paola, my sister, she saw that situation. She saw me that I was hugging this guy, I was kissing the guy, because let me tell you one thing, I didn't care about other people, they could look at me. I was always like that, I don't care about what people think. And I had a conversation with my mom, and she said, okay Fabio, when you come back we are going to have a conversation. But I was fine because I said, oh, she knows that I am at Francesca's house. When I come back, I found my mother and my sister in the kitchen. And my mother, she started asking me, Fabio, are you gay? I said, no, ma, no. Fabio, are you gay? I said, no, ma, no. Third time, Fabio, are you gay? You have to tell me. I said, Mommy, yes, I'm gay. She said, Fabio, how is it possible you are gay? How? I said, woman, are you blind? Come on, look at me. It's no rock science. I always been like that. You have to be blind, don't see your child. Especially me, that I was gay. That was completely shocking for me. But she started crying. And she said something awful. She said, Fabio, I'm going to pay a woman for you. That was really awful. I'm going to pay a woman for you. You can imagine how hurt I was. But in that moment, something happened to me. I say, like, okay, I built a wall around them, around her, around my sister as well. With my dad, we never had a great relationship. For me, she lost a lot of respect because she didn't accept me for who I was. For this was my coming out. It was really different. After years, our relationship became better because after I moved to Rome, well, there were other problems, other issues, and I will tell you about that. But that was a trauma for me because, of course, for my family, for my mother and my sister, they didn't accept for who I was. I hope that your story is going to be different. Today we are all fine, finally. We are all fine. My coming out with my dad was 4 years ago as well, in a difficult way, because as well for him, he was thinking that I don't know who was I. For me, the most important person is my mom, because for all of us, and this is really curious, for gay men, we don't have a great relationship with our fathers. And I'm studying that. There is, of course, a correlation about this thing. This is my coming out at the end. Why I'm telling you my coming out? Because first of all, it's a story that not all the stories are good. Most of the stories that I heard about their coming out are a bit terrible. Some are terrible than mine, like the parents, they said go away from my house, throw away their children. And so my mama, she didn't do that. At the end, I said to her, I'm going to see Andrea as well. If you don't like it, I don't care, because I follow my heart. I've always been like a strong, but she was okay as well. As well, she was crying, oh, Fabio's gay. Okay, I'm gay. So today, what I want to tell you, that coming out is one of the most difficult things you can do in your life. In my case, my coming out was taken from my sister, from my mom, so they forced me. So if you are a parent and you are listening to me right now, don't force your children to come out. They have to feel it when it's the right moment, and they finally can be open to you. Coming out is a special moment. I think for all of us, for the LGBTQ people, it's a moment where you can finally feel free, and this feeling of freedom is amazing. Because finally your heart is like, can be me. It's not because you cannot be you, but there are so many issues around that. And now it's easier than before, but it's still difficult. Don't say that now people, when you are gay or lesbian or transgender or all the stuff that all the people that are in my community, you think, oh no, it can be easier. It's not true. It's always difficult. It's always challenging, but at the end there will be a feeling of happiness. And but the most important word that I want to leave you is freedom. So remember that to come out is an experience, but it's a good experience, or bad like mine, but at the end there was always a good ending, because now my mom, she's one of my best friends. So be true to you. Thank you very much for listening to me. See you next time.